All right. What up? What up? What up? Welcome back, guys. Another episode of Stock Market Review. Today, we're going to review the weekly chart on the market before we dig in a little deeper just to see exactly what is going on. As everyone know, last week, the last couple of days, Thursday and Friday was those were two pretty rough days in the market, but the market actually did find some support. So we're going to see exactly what's going on right now. Can we hold that support level, or are everything going to collapse right beneath our feet? So stick with me, guys, as I give a few people some time to get in here. I know it is Sunday, so people might be a little busy. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple of minutes as you come in here. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. You enjoyed some time with the family. Just clear your head a little bit, especially if you got caught in all this drama without any protection. But I hope you did, right? But if you actually did, in fact, put on some protection plays, some hedge to protect your portfolio, give me a thumbs up because I've been calling for that. The market was giving us signs that it was probably going to do a bit of a pullback. But most importantly, as of right now, guys, is what I would say. Before we even get into anything, if you have not reviewed the chart yet, don't panic. The chart will let us know what we should be doing next. The chart will give us an idea. Let price confirm. Don't try to overshoot things and say, hey, you know what? Because of this news, this is what's gonna happen. Sometimes the market just react differently to different news. All right, just a couple of things that's on the news. All right. Um, we had a pick for the Fed chair. It's Kevin Walsh, whatever his name is. Um, Not my favorite pick, because I want the Fed to have that independence. It's not. It's something that he has mentioned that he doesn't. He no longer holds that view. But I hope he changed that. I do believe the Fed being independent is something that would be good for the stock market. Um, but it could have been worse, right? It could have been Kevin Hassett. Kevin Hassett is a bit different. This man literally had said somebody in that role needs to follow exactly whatever the president says. So things like that can get very tricky. So now there's a couple of other items going on. We survived the weekend. We didn't have any attack in the Middle East, which was a big fear going into this weekend. So that did not happen. So we actually survived that. I'm happy about that. The Jeff, hey, what's up, Jeff? The other thing we have is also, as of right now, I believe we are on a partial government shutdown. While it was a bipartisan shutdown this time, it wasn't just like one party holding out. So I don't think it's going to be one of those very hard fought, very long shutdown, because that's something. There's actually some people on the Republican side that agrees to negotiate certain guardrails they want to put around ICE, on how they function. So because that was a bipartisan shutdown, I do believe some sort of deals will be happening quickly. Again, it is partial. So what they pretty much did was vote to keep the government open, like parts of the government, but certain parts of the government will be shut down. All right. Again, that could be a catalyst that bring us down. But then again, if that happens, the market goes down. This is not just because of that. All right, that's just the catalyst. But the market has been giving us warning signs. If you watch my live on Thursday night, I did talk about the market is just sent us a major signal, and we need to be wary. We need to be careful. Last week as well, something else that we had last week as well. If you are here, by the way, make sure to like, smash, give me a thumbs up, man. I really appreciate that. That help us in the algorithm. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Oh, and by the way, we're going to expand a little bit. Over the next coming days, we will be live on Facebook, as well as I'm trying to set up for Instagram as well, to be able to give people more access to the live that way. It is time as we start to getting into this new chapter of the channel. We're seeing the growth, but we need to get out even bigger. All right, I'm seeing it. I do appreciate you guys that shows up and stick with me every single night, and ask questions and things like that. And I do appreciate that. Just keep asking questions. That is great. Another item that's also is somewhat of a mixed bag. We had big tech reporting. So Meta, I believe Meta already reported, Apple reported, Microsoft reported, Netflix already done. So it was a mixed bag. Some of them ran, some of them didn't. All right. And as of right now, what we're looking at in the market, and we're gonna go into the chart. What we're looking at in the market, it seems like the stock market, as far as all the different instruments out there, the stock market is the only thing that's actually holding. The dollar's cratering. If you have precious metals going down, the stock market is probably going to be the next thing. The job market is already looking weak. All right. So this week we're going to have job numbers come in this week, as well. As we will look to take a quick look at the economic calendar to see exactly where we are and what's coming up for this week. Um, Another thing that we might have that might really rescue the market, we still have some heavy hitters to report this week, and we're going to need those companies to really outperform and really push the market up. If we don't have that, I think we have a 5 to 10% drop coming very very soon. All right, that's really the way I'm leading. We have Amazon will be reporting, Alphabet will be reporting, and we also have AMD. We have ARM. So the thing about those companies, right? So that's the AI trade, the chip semiconductors. We had those. Like the storage companies reported, like SanDisk, Western Digital, and those companies, Seagate, they actually outperform. Those companies completely outperform the market. And while those companies they outperform their earnings, they outperformed. They went up. I did not think they were going to outperform. By the way, I really did not believe they were going to, but they did, which was great. That they did. Unfortunately, they could not hold those gains. They could not hold those gains. I believe Micron also report this week. So we need those companies to outperform so heavily that the market has no choice but to keep going up. Or because I don't think the market is going to stay where it is. Because right now it seems like we have a pricing pressure right now, and we're going to have an explosion one way or the other, whether it's on the downside or on the upside. It's going to happen. It's inevitable where we are. We've been there for a couple of weeks now. The market does not stay in one place. All right. So let's just start going. Let's just get going right here. We're gonna get right into the chart. Let's get it going right into the chart, guys. Here we go. Beautiful. So, just taking a quick look at that. Again, if you are here, please make sure to like the video. Say hello, give me a thumbs up. Would appreciate it. Let me know who's here, who's watching. Would always like to know. Let me know where you're watching from. As you guys already know, I'm in New York. I'm in NYC, dealing with this below zero weather right now, which has been interesting the past couple of days. So let's take a quick look right now. This is the Nasdaq futures you guys are looking at. So we're sitting right on top of a trend line, but I'm not going to stay here. I want to show you guys a couple of things. And do not forget, this still stands. This is POP, process over profit. All right, guys, you guys know that. This is process over profit. This is POP. We still know that. Let's get it going. there's a few things that I am not comfortable with, and there also we also have some hope. All right, so that's the good thing. We also have some hope, but there's a couple of things that makes us feel a little uneasy. All right, so we already have those levels that we already draw. All right, so you guys have those levels. This is what we're looking at right now. If you want to have a secondary sort of like trend line, that would come probably like right here. So that's more like a secondary trend line we would need to break. As of right now, what we're looking at, this is this past week. So the price action all happened right in there. All right, so it's almost like technically nothing happened. The whole thing happened right in there, and then where did we land? We landed right in the middle. Now, this is the good news. So that means support is holding, right? Support is holding. We okay so far. Now, this is where things get a bit worrisome. If you guys know, you guys know me as we go over all these things. You know, I also cover what the MACD. The MACD right now seems to be making a bearish divergence. That's a lower high in the MACD, and I do not like this one bit. All right, when you start having lower high in the MACD, that can spell trouble. And as of right now, this makes me very, very, very uneasy. All right. And again, if we go on the let's go on the weekly time frame. So if you go on the weekly, what did you guys see we have here, right? On the weekly time frame. I'm going to remove these things. You know what? I'm gonna remove everything because I can easily just put everything back. Okay, if you guys look here, what exactly are we seeing? We could never close above that level. Although we pierce it, we can never go above it. So what exactly is happening right there? We sort of have some sort of like supply zone, right? Distribution zone right there. That's how the game is played. When Wall Street wants to get out, whenever Wall Street wants to get out, that's the way the game is played. Whenever those guys want to get out, they will push it to a level like that. And once we get to those levels, this is where they selling. This is where they are dumping. All right. And for a lot of retail traders, you look and say, oh, as long as it crosses above this level, it's time to buy because we're going to squeeze up. But we're actually not getting that move because why? We never actually confirm. And if you're looking at the MACD, this curl is starting to look more going to the downside, right? As opposed to actually curling up. So those things makes me feel very, very, very uneasy. But then again, we have a couple of things in our back pocket where it may be we're going to set a bear trap and then get that squeeze. Because as of right now, it doesn't seem like it. But that's how you get caught off guard sometimes. That's how you get caught off guard sometimes. So let's take a quick look. By the way, let me just before I get too far, I forgot about this. Let's go and see what we have going on this coming week. So on Monday, we have auto sales coming up. That's not really going to move the market much. We have manufacturing PMI. At 9:45, so be on the lookout for that. For those of you guys who trade futures, make sure you do know whether or not the company you're trading futures with allows you to trade during those news events, because some of those companies do not. All right, ISM manufacturing, that shouldn't be a big thing. On Tuesday, job openings, that obviously is going to shake the market a little bit on Tuesday. PMI going to shake the market. Um, ADP employment on Wednesday. Those are like heavy hitters. These things can change the market definitely. On Friday, that's the normal initial jobless claim that we get every single Thursday. Thursday at 8:30 p.m. before market open. A reminder on Wednesday, when ADP employment numbers come out, this is going to be before market open. If you hold options, you cannot close options before 9:30 a.m. Therefore, whatever place that you currently have, you have to hold that. All right, you cannot change it. Again, if you guys are here, you guys, as I see you guys trickling in, Make sure to give me a thumbs up, smash the like button. If you don't mind, let me know where you're watching from. Would really appreciate that. Um, Again, Friday's gonna be a busy day on Friday because we have unemployment report, unemployment rate, hourly wages, wages year over year, consumer sentiment. We have a lot. It's a busy Friday before the open. All right, so expect some volatility during the week, and when you add to that, we have Amazon, Alphabet. You also have, as I mentioned, Micron, ARM is also reporting. Those companies can move the market. If you are part of the community, I shared that link with you guys to see the companies, the most popular companies reporting. So you should be able to see that come in the chat in the community. So make sure you guys take a look at that. I just want to take a quick look at the fear and greed index, even everything that's happening. Again, these are why I'm not very happy with where things are. The fact that those things happen, and this is based on how what's going on in the market and who's buying and who's selling, right? So whenever you see this is going up, that means retail is in a lot, and these things are recipes for flash crashes. All right. These things are recipes for flash crashes because while we're seeing all these signals, retail is getting comfortable, meaning every single bit of drop that we had, every single pullback, retail is buying. So are they right? We don't know, but like I keep telling you guys, this seems a little dangerous. Buying at this level is definitely dangerous. Just a reminder, if anybody have any questions, you can always drop them in the chat. I'm monitoring the chat, so I will be answering your questions as we are live here. Again, so this is what I'm currently looking at in this, and you guys can see that. So this is something I want to show you guys. That is so interesting when that happened. I'm gonna go back on the list. Actually, let me add, since we have a new month starting as well, let's take a look at the monthly. If you take a look at the monthly, on the monthly, actually, it shows. So that's the macro level. Again, we're still on an uptrend. People keep forgetting that. On the monthly, we are still on an uptrend. So that's the macro level. It doesn't mean that we can get pullbacks in the middle of the month. Like, look at this drop that we had here. We had a big drop right in here, right? But that was while we were still squeezing up. We just had the big drop and we kept squeezing up. All right. So if you look at those, this is the Fibonacci retracement, and you do that. So this is the high. Look how perfect this was. So for those of you who doesn't know what a Fibonacci retracement is, so this is how we track the market and see, okay, this is where the market is. If the market starts to drop, where exactly is the potential level where it might come? Typically, that is a 50% retracement, meaning a pullback is market's gonna do a big move up. It takes a breather, right? Imagine you have you have somebody running a marathon. At some point, they have to take a break once the marathon is over, right? They cannot run another marathon right after the next one. I mean, maybe some people can do it, but it's unlikely, right? So that's what happened. So that marathon is over, okay? So we went, completed that marathon. Now we want to take a break, relax, and then on another one. All right. So if we are expecting for a drop, this is what we would get. So if we're gonna have a drop, that's going to happen like right now. If we don't keep squeezing up, you'll take the Fibonacci. This is the beginning of the move, all the way to the top of the move. All right. So that's one of the reasons I think. Not that I think. Well, that's one of the reasons I also come to believe, based on technical analysis, we might keep squeezing up a little bit, because as you guys could see, how perfectly this level lined up with that recent high. Typically, those retracement happen exactly at those levels. So if we are really watching for that, so we're talking about possibly getting an extra move up and have that 50% retracement level right there, which means we're talking about a big one, another nice little bit of one 270, 300 in the S&P. Again, it's not impossible to happen for us to get that pullback. It's not impossible, but if you're looking at prior history, this is the kind of thing that we would expect to happen. But then again, we are at a level where we can see a lot of weakness. Price is actually not squeezing up. But on the monthly level, again, if you're looking at the weekly, while we can see we we have weakness, the price action is not great. Price action is not great. But what do you see here so far? You can see that's the way the week ended. We have buying and increased volume in the buying. Although it does give a long tail doji pretty much right at this level. If we go on the monthly, because remember, we in February now, so that month was done. Is it crazy for us to say, huh, this seems like what? What pattern do you guys see here? This really seems like what we just did pretty much was a bull flag. So that's again in context, right? Again, when flags happen, sometimes we have a retest of that level, which would be very, very painful. All right, that would be very painful if that happens, but it is not impossible to happen. Can that confirm? Can we squeeze up? We need to take this high to confirm that bull flag. All right, I'm gonna put an alert right there because I had those. I removed them because I wanted to do all these things with you guys. That's why I wanted to do all the thing with you guys. So the reason tonight I wanted to make sure that I'll go on the higher time frame to show you guys what's happening is when I'm telling you guys do not panic. You cannot just look at things like just looking at what exactly is in front of your face, right? Sometimes you got to take a step back to allow you to really see the entire field. Somebody may say, "Man, the market is horrible." Is it really horrible? No, it's horrible for you because you came in when the market was already hot, right? The market is not horrible. The market is actually in a crazy bull one, and right now it's just taking a bit of a breather. It can pull back, and whatever. And a 50% retracement is not crazy. That's from this level or 10% drop or whatever it is. It's not crazy to happen. It's something that happens multiple times. But as of right now, this is what I'm telling you guys. That's why I titled this live "Don't Panic." All right, don't. There's no panic yet. Now, this is what's interesting about that. This is far away. That's the only problem. But if we lose this level, that's when you can start panicking. All right, or the other way to do that, prepare yourself so that way if things like that happen, you don't have to panic. It's like okay, it happens. I can see it was happening because I'm following the chart and I'm following technical analysis and whatever. This is this move was expected. All right, so let's go back to the daily time frame, so you guys can see things back in the daily. Hold on, let me just close that. Have no problem here. Bang, there you go. All right, so this is the daily time frame. You guys can see that right there. Daily time frame. Again, all these things just staying the way they are. You can see there's a lot of choppiness in here. A lot of choppiness. Would not be impossible to have an additional squeeze up to go hit this level. All right, that's not something that would be impossible to happen. But then again, this is the big level we need to take, and buyers need and bulls need to defend this level. All right. So if we start moving, actually, let me do that as a zone. If we start losing those zones, that's when you guys can start saying, hey, you know what? Seems like we having some real trouble here. Let me extend that all the way across. Bang. Okay. Perfect. There you go. And I'm going to extend that too. Right across. All right. If we start losing those levels, then that's when it's time to start to really worry. So that's the S&P 500. Now let's go in the Qs. Again, guys, a friendly reminder. This is why I put those in a lot of those shops. Friendly reminder to follow your process. It's process over profits. It's pop. That's the motto. This is what we live by, and we're going to stick to that principle. All right. So remember when I told you guys last week, I told you guys, hey, be careful with what just happened here. We had a long tail doji, so that was an inside bar. So we're waiting to see what happens. This is the level we need to bulls need to defend, because right now what you guys are seeing. Let me actually put this right back. What you guys are looking at right now, this is the level we need to defend. We need to defend those levels no matter what. Those levels need to be defended. All right. That's a support level, horizontal support level, or support zone, and we have a trend line right there. So we need to hold that those levels, and if we don't, we might be in serious jeopardy right now. All right. If we go on the monthly, if we go on the monthly, once again, what do you guys see in the monthly? We actually close higher from the prior month. As bad as this month looks like it was, we close higher. Let me see by how many points. The 613. We actually closed about 9 to 10 points higher in the in the Nasdaq than we did the previous month, which was December. All right, January actually closed higher. I know it was painful. It may not seem like it. This is again what I'm saying. I'm talking about just making sure that you guys are following things and see exactly what's happening, so we can see those. But be careful. This was not a doji that we had. Now this is where this look ugly to me. This looks very ugly. This is the weekly on the Qs. This almost seems like a pivot candle for me. That's what this looks to me. And that that makes me very uncomfortable. All right? Because if you look at that, what is the most likely play to happen based on probability, right? If we're talking about probability, what we most likely going to happen is a candle that does this bearish candle, ending up forming what? This would end up pretty much forming a what? An evening star. These three candles would form an evening star, which means we would be going to this level or even lower. All right, so this is what gets me very concerned looking at it. But then again, nothing has been confirmed yet. I mean, there are other points where we've had candle like that, and it doesn't pan out. Actually, let me see if I can find one for you guys where we have seen those and it doesn't pan out. But the only problem that I have with that candle happened at all-time high level. That's my only problem. You know what? Actually, I think I lied to you guys. I apologize for that. I don't think I see another candle that looks like that right at an all-time high level. We never have that at an all-time high level. I have a question. Okay. What is one specific signal you are waiting for right now? Right now, I need to see a break of structure. Right now, we're sitting right on top of a lot of support levels. So when I'm talking about structure, I'm talking about these levels. All right. These are strong. There's a lot of buyers sitting right at these levels. Can we break those levels? If we break those levels, I think that break will be violent. So is tomorrow going to be more like a consolidation day or just another a volatile day, or is tomorrow really going to be like Black Monday? When they talk about Black Monday, that's what was anticipating coming into today. I mean into tomorrow, into this week. That was the anticipation. That's the reason you saw a lot of selling happen. Again, the good news is while silver and gold was triggering, once again, guess who triggered that? The news is coming out. There are some allegations. Again, that is allegations. I do not know for a fact, but somebody did show that J.P. Morgan heavily shorted gold and the future and gold and silver. So that's what took it down. And I guess the reason people went to look for JP Morgan once again is because this is something they actually did in the past. In the 90s, they did that, and they actually were fined by the US government for manipulating silver and gold. All right. But they did have you can see the trade. Those are public records. So that's not a conspiracy theory. This is public record. They heavily shorted those things, and it's not them not the only one. That thing they had the biggest the largest position on the short, but a lot of those banks shorted those companies. This is what I talk about when I tell you guys, when you see those big candles, it's not retail traders. These are institutions, and the people that was behind those big. You see, I believe silver had one of the worst days in over 100 years or something like that. Same for gold, down 30%, 40% in one day. Retail traders can't make that happen. All right, retail traders cannot make that happen. And those guys made a ton of money, a ton of money. Those guys made. But again, this is why you do not chase. But anyway, going back to things. So this is where we are on the daily. We're looking at the daily, just looking at things again. Nothing. There's no momentum either way. See what I'm telling you guys. We're just chopping here. Look at the MACD. The MACD don't know what to do. These things have no idea what to do, almost looking like a snake. It's not supposed to look like that. All right, look at this little thing here, this there, this here, momentum shift, momentum. There's no real push, not enough selling, not enough buying either way. Um oh, share my screen. My apologies, my screen wasn't being shared. Okay, not enough. So this is what we're looking at right now, guys. Not it's just not enough. Not enough. This is the MACD right here. The MACD is not really doing much. Not enough buying, not enough selling. That is all we are looking at. That's the cues. We need to defend this level strong, man. We need to defend it. If we cannot defend this level, that's the level I was talking about when I was talking about the structure. We need to defend those levels. If we break below them, I think we might be in trouble. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. One thing I wanted to show you guys. It's been a while since I went in that. I had break that for you. I broken that for you guys. I showed you guys, say, hey, this is what Bitcoin is doing, and I have the pattern stayed right there. Right, guys? So this is the pattern I was talking about. What do you see? Head, shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we drop. This is why I love, love, love technical analysis. Technical analysis will get you prepared and show you what's going on. Now, Bitcoin already fall below this. Bitcoin needs to defend this level. Seems like we already slightly below it. Actually, I could extend that down just a little more since it came way down here. Let me go on the weekly so I can get a stronger sense of what's going on here. Yep, there you go. So we have, you guys can see, so this came from the previous high. We can even extend that all the way down to the previous high. Now we have another zone. What exactly can it do? So this is the weekly, right? This is the weekly what we are looking at. This would be a good level. If we can't hold that, we dropping down here. We might drop like around there. If we can't, we're gonna keep dropping. Bitcoin right now, it's interesting to me because typically, the way the market used to be, right? The way the market used to be. Let me see something. I think I just saw something very scary here. This is oh yeah, I did not see that. So this is the scary thing I see. Oof. That's on the monthly. This is happening in the monthly, guys. This is not good. If this pattern really forms, right? So this is not fully formed yet. So that looks more like a head and shoulders pattern, but this is not fully formed yet. All right, you guys can see, you guys, I'm sure you guys can see that. Let's see if we can get a trend line going right here. If we take this trend line, actually this trend line is already broken. That support level don't work. So that means the next one would have to be this one that goes through all the way here. Oh my. So that means it is possible we might come all the way down to this line unless we just consolidate sideways, hit this line, and just reverse. But anyway, just let's see. Let me just go back so I can have all the stuff back on that because we already talked about them. Yeah. So Bitcoin right now is Bitcoin is dropping. But Bitcoin is in free fall, which is interesting because Jimmy, I definitely understand, man. We need a miracle on Bitcoin right now. It's at a support zone. Hopefully that support zone holds. But that support zone, in my opinion, is not as strong as it could be, right? I mean, it is a nice support zone, but it is definitely not as strong as it could be if you were looking at it. So that would be that. Actually, I would have to bring that even a little lower. We're talking about seven, possibly 71, which is not crazy for Bitcoin to drop to 71, right? It's not something that would be out of the realm of possibility based on what we're looking at here to go and find some support. So we have this happening on Bitcoin. I have been reviewing this for you guys. I cannot tell you to buy, hold, or sell, but I was showing you guys the pattern and say these are the kind of things that could happen. Right? Let me see if I just remove that for now. I was telling you guys when we took this level, like, hey, if we get rejected here, this is bad because why? I remember we talked about that. Like, hey, this seems like we're making a bear flag. It's just a very long bear flag, big long consolidation zone, but Bitcoin could never actually break above. Honestly, I don't know why. Bitcoin used to be that asset class where things would go into when people wanted to hide their money. It seems like this time it was just silver, gold, and platinum and whatever. But I mean, even Pokemon cards. But for whatever reason, everyone stayed away from Bitcoin, which was a little interesting to me. And we are. I don't think we are in crypto winter yet. Crypto winter is when cryptos lose about 60, 70% of the value. That's crypto winter. Because right now we're not there. We're not there yet. Um, if this happened, that would be serious. All right. So this is what I told you guys. If we break this line, this is why I do trend lines. We break these trend lines, we are in for a drop. So this would be the first level of that. All right. Let me measure that. That's not a big move. So this would be the as of right now. That's 11.36. Okay, so technically this move is done. For the head and shoulder pattern, we've already reached the bottom of the full length of that move. So that move is done. There's another move we have to be more wary of. Okay, so we had a see we've had them, multiple of them. And I don't like that we're getting them multiple times in a row, right? So again, we had a head and shoulder pattern. This is the drop. Okay, so now this is the order move. Again, I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm just giving you guys the information. All right, I know some of you guys might get a little bit spooky, but that's not my intention. I just want to give you guys the information without any sugarcoating. This is purely technical analysis. You guys know I don't do fluff here, and whatever. I'm gonna give you both sides. All right. So what I'm looking at as far as the bad news is the fact that if we just did this move all the way here, right? So we build that flag, we build this long flag pattern. Technical analysis would dictate if we don't have a major reversal and we actually follow that big flag pattern, we're talking about Bitcoin potentially going to possibly 47 if that whole move actually completes itself, if the bear flag completes itself, which would be where, yeah, and obviously there's a level of support like right there. Let me go on the weekly so you guys can see that better. Yeah, right there you guys can see previous resistance, which is now support, like a support zone. So worst case scenario, this would be our support zone. We're talking about 50 to 47 area. If, and again, that is if the actual bear flag actually plays out. All right. So that's what we're looking at right now in that guys. This is what we're looking at right now in that, and this could get very very dangerous. I'm gonna get let me get that moving a little bit better. This is what gives me some hope. Okay. So I'm looking at the VIX right now, and the VIX in the 2 hours, unfortunately, turned positive. So this is zero. This is negative. You guys can see it on the side here. The VIX turned positive. I don't like that. But if you sort of look at the daily, what the daily does, that candle could be favorable to us. Are you looking at the 4 hour? The 4 hour in the VIX in the MACD looks like something that wants to curl down. We don't have any divergence. That's the good news. Because every single time when we have those crazy spike in the VIX, look at that. We have a higher high and then we pop, right? Every single time. You see that pop that happens here? We do this, we have a higher high, we can do whatever, and then we have made a higher high here. That's the I mean that's the first high. We made a higher high and we pop. All right. We're not seeing that here yet. We don't have that yet. Instead, what we are seeing, the 2 hours is showing we most likely going to curl down. All right. So if we curl down, that is a nice recipe for a nice squeeze. Nice squeeze. If we can actually have that bearish divergence in the VIX, we can get a nice squeeze out of this move. I think that will push the market to new highs, and the VIX will probably collapse to around like 12, 13. And at that point, I will be scared as heck, man. I'm telling you, if the VIX get to around 13, 12 points, I will be scared for a move on the way up. That's typically how we get big swan events and big drops. Because as of right now, I'm not. All I'm seeing the VIX do right now. If you look at that, right? So this was the high, and the VIX pulled down. If we do the Fibonacci retracement, what did we guys see? We traced back that 50% retracement. Let me remove that so everyone can see it. That 50% retracement actually was held as resistance, which means essentially what the VIX did is a bear flag. All right. So the VIX going down is good for the stock market. So that's an actual bear flag, meaning we should be going up in the stock market. Even though as of right now it's not looking like it, Bitcoin is fighting for its life right now. You guys can see it actually just turned positive again. It was down like 300 a couple moments ago. Bitcoin is just fighting for its life right now. We will see how that plays out, but this is not fun. Couple of quick things I want to take a look at, real quick, guys. If you take a look at GLD, that is gold. This is what gold did. Remember when I talk to you guys and tell you guys all those channels when you have them, eventually stocks get back in. This is what happens. Again, that's institution. Look at that. Look at the selling. Look how heavy that is. You think people like you and I have the kind of money to bring in this kind of volume? We don't. That's institution. I don't know why some people think it was a good idea to just buy gold away at this stop here. I mean, they just got crushed. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Again, I have to go, guys, because I have to go meet people in the community. Thank you for tuning in. I had a lot I wanted to cover on. I do realize that I did not have many questions, and I did not have those conversations as much as I did with you guys directly as I would like to do. But I do feel like the going over the charts and showing you guys what's going on was more important for me to do. Even showing you guys the macro level, what might happen and where we are, because I don't want you to panic, right? Because when you're in the market, panic means losses. Losses mean loss means loss of capital. So I want you guys to be careful. I want you guys to have a clear head. Things might be tough, and sometimes all you got to do is just sit back and do nothing. All right. Sometimes the best trade you can make is no trades at all. All right. As of right now, the market. I will be honest with you guys. As of right now, the market looks very, very, very shaky. It looks very, very scary. Again, I know people like to say the market looks scary when the market is down 800 points. What I'm talking about the market being scary is the market is showing that it could pull back 5 to 10%. Is it going to? I don't know. It has not confirmed that yet. That's not something that has been confirmed yet. I think we need to wait and see certain things that happen for this week. Once we have the government shutdown behind us, which I think they're gonna resolve that very very quickly. We get the government shutdown behind us. We have the job numbers. We have those big earnings comes in. I think the market will have some clarity this week. I think this week is really a make or break because we need to reclaim certain levels, and if we don't, the move at this point will be confirmed, and it is inevitable. We going to get that drop because right now there's a lot of headwinds, there's a lot of bad news on the way, and things like that can happen very very quickly. Well, guys, I'm gonna try to meet with the community shortly. I have to give those guys sometimes. There's a couple of stocks I wanted to review with you guys. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that today. But tomorrow I will be live. I will be going over a couple of things. Make sure you're here. If you are here still watching, you like this video, make sure to check out some of the videos on my channel right now. I actually dropped the video yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Make sure to check that out. That's about futures. If you don't know what futures are and you'd like to get an idea what exactly is futures, just to learn what exactly is futures, how can I trade futures, and whatever, yeah, all this kind of stuff. I have a video that will show you and give you all the comparison. All right. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for sticking out and watch and give me some times on this Friday. I mean, I say Friday. What am I talking about? I mean, this Sunday night. I'm tired, guys. You can tell I'm tired. I'm gonna go meet with the guys from the community. I will see you guys tomorrow for another review, market review. Hopefully in better circumstances for some of you guys. For those of you guys that love trading puts, because the market goes down a lot faster and whatever. I know you guys are happy right now, but either way, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night. Get some sleep and get ready to rock and roll tomorrow.